Saitel, the good girl. One day your kindness will put you in serious trouble. She's right. Saitel thinks she can save the whole world. Then let me save the small part of the world that I can.
She had just crossed the university main gate when she noticed someone standing on the other side of the road. A man. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Sita, a 22 years old beautiful young woman. Sita was different from many of the other girls on university campus. It was not her appearance alone, it was her heart. She was the kind of person who would stop working simply because she saw an old woman struggling with a heavy bag. She would share her lunch with students who had forgotten their money. She would listen when somebody needed to talk. Her friends often teased her about it. Sita, Naomi once told her, "One day, your kindness will put you in serious trouble." Miranda had laughed. She is right. Sita thinks she can save the whole world. Sita would simply smile and said, "Then, let me save the small part of the world that I can." That fateful day, Sita was crossing the university main gate when she noticed someone standing on the other side of the road. A man. He was holding a white walking stick. He appeared to be blind. He stood alone. Sita slowed down. There was something unusual about the young man. He was in his early 30s. But despite his handsome appearance, there was something heartbreaking about the way he stood there. His fingers tightened across the white stick. He tapped the ground gently. Once, twice. Then he moved his foot forward. He seemed uncertain about which direction to take. Sita stopped completely. "Oh my goodness," she whispered. She looked around. There was nobody beside him. Why is he walking alone? She watched as he took another cautious step. A motorcycle suddenly passed dangerously close to him. The man stopped. Sita's heart jumped. Without thinking, she hurried across the road. "Excuse me, sir." The man turned his face towards her voice. "How may I help you, young lady?" Sita stood in front of him. "Are you trying to get somewhere?" "Yes." "Where?" "The bus stop." Sita looked towards the road. "The bus stop is quite far from here. I know. You shouldn't be walking there alone." The man smiled. "I have managed so far. But you could get hurt." "I suppose I could." Sita shook her head. "You were very calm about that. You were very concerned about the stranger. I don't like seeing people struggle when I can help." The man tilted his head slightly. "Then perhaps you can help me." "Of course I can." Sita reached gently for his arm. "Come, I will take you." "You don't have to." "I know, but I want to." Then something changed in the man's expression. "Thank you." They began walking. Sita moved slowly, describing the path ahead. "There is a small hole here." He stepped carefully. "There is another cup." He lifted his foot. "Okay, we are fine." The man smiled. "You are very good at this, at making people feel safe." Sita looked at him. She did not know why, but those words touched her. "What is your name?" "Keon." "Keon?" "Yes." "I am Sita." "I know." She stopped. "You know me?" Keon smiled. "I have heard your voice around campus." "Ha ha 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 ha. Are you serious?" "How?" "You talk to everyone." She laughed harder. "That's true." They continued walking. Neither of them noticed that two familiar figures were standing several meters behind them. Naomi and Miranda. Naomi stared, then slowly turned towards Miranda. "Is that Sita?" Miranda narrowed her eyes. "Yes." "Who is that man?" Miranda was Sita holding Keon's arm. "I don't know." Naomi lips curved into a mischievous smile. "Interesting." Miranda burst into laughter. "Ah, please don't start, Naomi." "Ha ha 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 ha. I am not starting anything. You are always smiling." "I am only observing." The two girls followed them from a distance. When Sita finally helped Keon reach the bus stop, he turned towards her. "Thank you. You are welcome." "I hope I will see you again." Sita smiled. "You probably will." "I am always around campus." Keon nodded. "Then I will see you again." She watched him board the bus. For some seconds, she remained standing there. Something about him stayed in her mind. She could not explain it. Maybe it was his voice or his calmness. Or it was the loneliness she had seen in his face. She turned around. Naomi and Miranda were standing behind her. Sita immediately knew she was in trouble. Naomi folded her arms. So? Please don't start, Sita sighed. Miranda smiled. We haven't said anything, no. Naomi, did you say anything? No, no. Please, you don't have to. Naomi walked closer. You helped a handsome blind man. He needed help. Yes, I know. Miranda nodded seriously. Of course. Sita narrowed her eyes. Please, stop laughing. We are not laughing. You are. Naomi covered her mouth. Okay, maybe a little. Both of you are impossible. The three girls began walking towards the hostel. But Sita's mind remained somewhere else. It remained with the blind man named Keon. She did not know that the man she just helped was not an ordinary stranger. The following Monday morning, Sita was sitting beneath the large tree outside the library. She was reading through her notes when she heard a familiar voice. Good morning. Her heart skipped. She looked up. Keon stood a few feet away. He was holding his white walking stick. A smile appeared across Sita's face. Keon, he smiled. I was hoping you would be here. How did you know? I recognized your voice. Sita laughed. That's becoming your favorite excuse. It is not an excuse. He walked towards her. May I sit? Of course. He sat beside her. For a while, he said nothing. There was something comfortable about their silence. Sita looked at him. How are you? I am fine, thank you. Did you get home safely that day? Yes. Good. She returned to her book. Keon smiled. What are you studying? What are you studying? Business administration. Do you enjoy it? Sometimes. And the other times, I wonder why I choose it. He laughed softly. Their conversation continued. They spoke about school, family, dreams, life. Keon told her that he enjoyed music. Sita told him she loved reading. He said he wanted to travel. She said she wanted to build a successful company someday. Their conversation became deeper. Neither realized how much time had passed. Eventually, Sita looked at her phone. I have to go to class. Will I see you again? Probably tomorrow, she smiled. Maybe. Keon laughed. That sounded like a yes. It sounded like a maybe. But you smiled. So? Nothing. Sita stood. Goodbye, Keon. Goodbye, Sita. She walked away. But she turned around twice before disappearing through the library door. Keon heard her footsteps fade. Then his smile disappeared. The loneliness that had followed him for years returned to his face. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his phone. Mr. Keon, a man's voice said immediately. Yes, your driver is waiting. I don't need him. Sir, you cannot keep walking around alone. Keon sighed. I can manage. Your family will be worried. Nobody is to tell anyone who I am. Yes, sir. You heard me? Yes, sir. Keon ended the call. He sat beneath the tree for another minute. Then he slowly stood. The truth was that Keon was not blind. Not completely blind. Years earlier, an accident had severely damaged his eyesight. He could distinguish light, shadows, and shape. But he had deliberately allowed everyone to believe that he was completely blind. There was a reason. Keon was not merely a visitor on the university campus. He was the university rector. His name was Keon Anderson, the wealthy businessman who had founded the institute several years earlier. He owned several companies, he had built hospitals, he had funded scholarship, he had donated millions to education. But wealth has brought him something he never wanted. People who pretended to love him because of his money. People smiled because they knew his name. People suddenly became kind when they discovered his status, but Keon had decided to disappear. He dressed simply, he walked with a white stick. He allowed people to believe he was a helpless blind stranger and he observed them. He wanted to know who people truly were when there was nothing to gain from him. Then he met Cynthia. And she had surprised him. She had not asked for money. She had simply seen a man who needed help. That was why he kept returning. That was why he wanted to know her. And slowly, something he had not expected began to happen. He was falling in love. Within weeks, Sita and Kayon became inseparable. They met beneath the tree. They walked around campus together. Kayon would listen while Sita talked about her classes. Sita would describe things around them so that Kayon could understand what he could not clearly see. There are two boys playing football. Kayon smiled. Are they good? No. How do you know? They have missed the ball 4 times. Kayon laughed loudly. Sita loved hearing that sound. There was something beautiful about making him happy. Soon, students began noticing them. Whispers spread. That's Sita. Who is that man? Her boyfriend? He is blind, isn't he? Yes, he is. She must really love him. Some people admire her, others mocked her. But Naomi and Miranda were the worst. One afternoon, they found Sita sitting beside Kayon near the cafeteria. Naomi approached with a dramatic expression. Sita! What? Naomi placed her hands on her waist. We need to talk. Miranda stood behind her trying not to laugh. Sita sighed. What now? Naomi looked at Kayon, then at Sita, then back to Kayon. You are really serious about this? What do you mean? About what? Your blind boyfriend, of course. Kayon remained silent. He is my friend, not my boyfriend. Miranda laughed hard. Friend? Yes. Friends don't sit this close. Cynthia moved slightly away from Kayon. There, happy now? Naomi burst into laughter. Cynthia glared at both girls. You two are terrible. Naomi shook her head. We just want to understand. Understand what? How you feel for a man who can't even see you. The laughter stopped. Cynthia looked at Kayon, then she smiled. He may not see my face. She gently touched his hand, but he sees my heart. Kayon's expression changed for a moment. He could not speak. Naomi's teasing smile disappeared immediately. Miranda looked away. Cynthia continued softly. And I don't care what anyone thinks. Kayon felt something deep inside him. Because for years, he had been surrounded by people who saw his money. Cynthia was the first person who had seen him. Not his wealth, not his title, not his influence, just him. Months passed. Cynthia's feelings became stronger. She began to realize that Kayon was not merely a friend. She loved him. She loved his voice, his patience, his kindness, his ability to make her laugh. She loved the way he listened. But there was one thing she could not understand. Kayon always seems different from an ordinary man. His vocabulary was unusually sophisticated. His knowledge of university was extraordinary. He knew professors by name. He knew details about campus building that he had supposedly never visited. He sometimes spoke about university policy with surprising authority. One evening, Cynthia's finally asked, Kayon, who are you? What do you mean? I mean, who are you really? He smiled nervously. I am just Kayon. No. No, you are not. He turned towards her. What makes you say that? You know too much. Maybe I read a lot. You know the rector. The rector? You ask about him as though you know him personally. I do. How? Cynthia stared at him. Kayon, he said finally. Would you still love me if you discovered that I wasn't who you thought I was? Cynthia's heart beat faster. I don't know. Why? Because everyone has secrets. That's true. But whatever your secret is, I hope you will trust me enough to tell me. He wanted to tell her. He wanted to reveal everything. But fear held him back. What if she changed? What if she discovered that he was wealthy? What if she believed that relationship had been a test? Now, Kayon was afraid. Not of losing his money, not of losing his position. He was afraid of losing Cynthia. One thing he don't know is that secret could not remain hidden forever. One Tuesday morning, the university announced a special ceremony. The rector will address the students. Everyone gathered in the main auditorium. Cynthia sat beside Naomi and Miranda. The auditorium was packed. Students whispered excitedly. Professor sat in the front row. Then the curtains opened. A group of senior administrators walked onto the stage. Cynthia looked toward the podium. The chairman stepped forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome our rector and founder, Mr. Kayon Anderson. Cynthia froze. Her face went pale. What? Naomi looked at her. Miranda looked at her. Is that not Keyon, the blind man? Then all three gears turned towards the stage. A tall man walked onto the platform. He wore an expensive black suit. His expression was confident. He walked without a stick. Cynthia stopped breathing. Her Keyon. The man she had been sitting with for months. The blind man everyone had laughed about. The man she had helped across the road. The man she had fallen in love with. He was the rector. And he was wealthy. The auditorium erupted with applause. But Sita heard none of it. Her mind raced. Every strange moment suddenly made sense. His knowledge, his confidence, his mysterious phone calls, his expensive tests that he tried to hide. She felt tears gathering in her eyes. Naomi whispered, Sitel, I need to leave. She walked out of the auditorium. Keyon saw her. His smile disappeared. He stepped away from the podium. Sitel! She did not stop. He followed her. Sitel, please wait. I need to explain. She turned around. Her eyes filled with tears. How could you? I can explain. You lied to me. I was afraid of what, Keyon? Of losing you. Losing me. You were the rector all this time. And you allowed me to believe you were blind. Because I wanted to know whether someone could care about me without knowing who I am. You tested me. No. I didn't intend to hurt you. But you did. Keyon stepped closer. I love you. She looked at him. Don't say that. It's true. Cynthia, I love you. You don't know what love means. I know exactly what it means. You were the first person who helped me without asking who I am. You were the first person who treated me like a human being instead of a wedding man. I thought my secret could protect what we had. But it destroyed it, Keyon. He had no answer. For the first time in his life, the wedding rector stood helplessly before someone he loved. His money could not fix it. All he had was the truth. And the hope that Cynthia would eventually forgive him. Cynthia did not speak to Keyon for several weeks. She avoided him. She stopped visiting their favorite tree. She stopped eating at the cafeteria. Naomi and Miranda stayed beside her. One evening, Naomi said, You still love him? I don't know, Cynthia said. Cynthia, you do, Miranda told her. How can I trust him again? You don't have to trust him immediately. Naomi placed her hand over Cynthia's. But don't throw away something real. Simply because it began with a mistake. Cynthia looked at her. Would you forgive him? Naomi thought about it. If I loved him, yes. Meanwhile, Keyon had changed. He stopped pretending to be blind. He established scholarship for disadvantaged students. He funded a new medical center. And one day he returned to the tree. He sat there alone. Cynthia found him. He heard her footsteps. His heart raced. Cynthia, you came. He turned towards her. For a moment, Cynthia could not say anything. I am still angry. I don't like what you did. But I understand why you did it. Keyon still remained silent. You were afraid people would love your money instead of you. But you should have trusted me. I should have, Cynthia. Please forgive me. She took a deep breath. I cannot promise that everything will go back to how it was. Keyon nodded. I understand. But please give me some time. I don't want to lose you either. Keyon's eyes filled with tears. Cynthia, please. She raised her hand. Don't say anything. They sat together under the tree. Not as a wedding rector and a student. Not as a blind man and a beautiful girl. But simply as two human beings who had made mistakes, suffered, forgiven, and discovered something precious. 2 years later, the university auditorium was decorated with flowers. Students crowded outside. Cynthia walked down the aisle in a beautiful white wedding gown. Her eyes was filled with tears. At the end of the aisle stood Keyon. He wore a black suit. While Cynthia reached him, he whispered, You look beautiful. You can see me now. I could always see you. She laughed through her tears. The priest began the ceremony. When it was time for their vows, Keyon took her hand. Cynthia, when I first met you, I thought you were simply a kind stranger helping a blind man. The guests laughed off. But you became my friend. Then you became the woman I love. You taught me that true love does not ask how much money someone has. It asks what kind of heart they have. And you taught me that sometimes people hide because they're afraid of being hurt. She smiled. But you also taught me that real love gives people the courage to become honest. They exchanged rings. The congregation applauded. Naomi and Miranda. Thank you very much for watching my story. Please don't forget to share and subscribe to this channel for more interesting stories.